Cut it off short there. That catches me every time. I'm trying to move screens around and it stops it right in the middle of the playback, right? Sorry about that. My name is Dan Lutz, and I am here not on the wrong, well, I'm even here with the wrong background. I'm here on the front lines. Sorry about that again. A lot going on today. So, and Tank has joined in. How's it going, Tank? Oh,
I was going to be able to get on.
Yeah, well, I got lost. I lost track of time. I had no idea it was so late. Since GMT 0, I've been chasing the time zone around the planet to deploy the GoldGrain coin on the blockchain, and I wanted to do it at since it would be on the 20th of January in 2020, I wanted to do it at the 20th hour and the 20th minute and 20th second. So
I like that.
Yes. So I started, right, and the first time that I was ready to go with the contract, and I pressed the button to deploy, right? There's a button that says deploy, so I pushed it, and there was an error. I said, oh, to figure out what the error is. So when you do coding, right, you write a text script, right? You know, if you're in a word processor and you start typing out stuff, right, what you see is text, but it's got a lot of other stuff with it that you don't see. highlighting, underscores, all those kind of things, the type of font. It's all behind the scenes stuff, right? In a plain text editor, when you're doing programming, there's text editors. They'll have formatting of that text, right, without any garbage associated with it, right? It's just text. But apparently, when I saved off the script, I had the wrong formatting. So that's so it errored out. So I chased. So that was London time, is GMT 0, right? So I was in London. That was 4 a.m. for me. 4 a.m. and 20 minutes, right? So 4:20. Oh, okay.
Nice. Perfect.
Well, perfect, except it didn't. It had an error on the script. Okay, so I went to the next time zone, New York, right? Waiting for it to be 2020 in New York. So I got to the section, ready to deploy the contract. Hit because now it's the correct script. And it errored out again. There was a different error. Well, this error was because I didn't refresh the browser.
It's all it takes.
Yeah.
It's all it takes.
All right. Next time zone, New Orleans. So I got it loaded up, ready to go. New Orleans. I hit 2020, but this time I'm trying to outsmart the thing, right? So I get it up to, I already deploy it ahead of time, and there's a screen that comes out that finally says accept. I'll use that where I'll accept, right? So I started with about 3 minutes to go, got it all up, and I'm basically waiting for about 2 minutes for it to hit 2020, and I hit it, accept, error. I waited too long.
Wow.
So next time zone, Salt Lake City. All right. Well, Salt Lake City, I was successful. So I was able.
Good job. All right.
Yeah, I was able to do it, but I had to chase the 2020 around the globe, and so anyway, I was just doing a couple other things necessary for now connecting it to the website, right? And that's kind of why I got a little distracted and didn't notice the timing. But
the irony of that statement, of the whole story being on time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh. Well, and but I chased it all the way up to now, and here we are.
Hey, hey, congratulations on that standpoint.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Well, it's the first time dealing now. We're on what is called the Tron blockchain. Not anything.
What's it called? The
Tron. Tron. Yeah, just like the video game or the movie Tron. It's
totally awesome, by the way. And in my lifetime, Tron has become a real thing. It's amazing.
I like riding around on those bikes, the light bikes.
I love that. Yeah, that's how your internet works. It's good.
So Tron is a very fast blockchain, and so a lot of things are open source when you're dealing with these blockchains, right? So for example, Bitcoin, open source, so you can see everything that's there, so you know how it's functioning. There's no back doors and stuff that are gonna surprise you and offer scammers. But sometimes things aren't written well enough. It's not there's like an exploit that can be done on the blockchain, and that happened on Ethereum. And Ethereum was the first to do smart contracts, and so this smart contract system, it has been well established now, but what they call consensus algorithm, how they actually agree that a transaction has been done on Ethereum is very, very slow, right? It's Bitcoin's slower. It's like 7 transactions per second. Ethereum is like 24 transactions. But Tron is a copy of Ethereum. but with a different consensus algorithm that allows it to do 2,000 transactions per second.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
So
big difference. Holy cow.
yeah. So we deployed on the Tron blockchain. So it's done. So we'll actually be able to sell coins today. Everything is functioning. So I'll be doing a Zoom presentation later for people that are in. I've got a couple of groups set up where I've got a new path forward group that's like people I've been working with on kind of more like of a leadership basis. I've got a testers group, and then I've got some other groups. But anyway, I'm happy that we're at this point where actually it can happen. Well, so do you have any updates?
I don't have any updates pertaining to Kim yet. I mean, the bank's closed here today. So, 3-day weekends I don't really expect anything until Tuesday morning to find anything out. I did notice some things though that just to confirm some of the stuff we've been reporting, right? Is that, we were talking about how you had all of the Russian cabinet step down, or parliament or whatever, and how that was really the deep state because their big payout day is the 15th. And then it appears that I don't know if it's the ambassador or representative, who it is, who was supposed to go to Davos either next week or 2 weeks from now. I think his name is Peak, something Peak, Mike Peak, something like that. Mm. How he was in the White House,
right?
And he's like the representative for, I don't know, Ukraine or Russia or something like that. But anyways, he's tied into the same group, right? And he was supposed to go to Davos in Switzerland, right, next week for the Economic Forum. And he was escorted out of the White House, and he's been removed from his position pending a security investigation. And my suspicion on that, because I think that's a very important piece, right, that I'll probably not mention anywhere. But my suspicion on that is that he went in there making threats to Trump on behalf of the Rothschilds and got shown the door. That's just my vibe on it, I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, I did note the story. I heard it this morning. I did see a picture of him, and I said, well, there's something wrong with that guy. Yeah. So as I said, I think there's a good reason to escort him out. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's just a lot of this next 10 days or 11 days, whatever it is. I guess 10 days, yeah, of the month is going to be. I think is going to be very dynamic and very telling. This is one of the first times I know of that Kim came out publicly, right, on her own. I mean, she's told me things before, like when you and I were talking about March 15th, right? Mm-hmm. But she didn't say that publicly. But she told me that directly, right? She told me in September when, I don't know, now I don't even remember if it was this year or the year before, that basically they had 10 days or something like that, and the government was going to completely restructure. And she also told me they were actually going to bring in the gold standard, right? And so she gave me that, and I put that at once. But I've never. Now she did. I mean, Tommy said something different, but she did come on the show and basically said that she would expect us to be. I forget her exact words, but the impression I got was that we'd be operational, which means funds would be moving, somewhere towards the end of the month of January, which obviously we're right there. And this past Friday, these groups did say that they would work with her now. And I have to believe from what I'm hearing, I'm getting reports from, people who want to go into the IRS website. You can't even pay. They're saying that their system is down until the 27th. So that's confirmed. I mean, that's what I was saying before, but that's confirmed. I've got that from all over, and I guess you can actually go to the website. If you tried to pay your taxes right now, they wouldn't let you. Which obviously, if the IRS isn't taking money, they're down, right?
Yeah.
Because that's all they do.
Yeah, that's their whole purpose. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it is. Well, hopefully it never comes back up.
Oh my gosh, how amazing! You know, I really am looking for. I'm looking for a reality that we know about to synchronize with the reality that we're living in. You know.
Yep.
And have those two things occupy the same space and time, where we're no longer, you know, the crazy conspiracy peddlers. You know, late night on YouTube with Dan and Tank as they spin their web of crazy, right?
Oh
It's
yeah.
like,
Well, we
like,
haven't.
you know,
We haven't.
it's
We've
fun
only
time.
scratched the surface. I'm sure we can get farther down the rabbit hole.
You know, I always think about that. It's like, how much more to everything is this, right? There's so much more.
Well, let's see. We said that everything that is in Stargate SG-1 is basically telling you the truth about how everything is really. I mean, just accepting that right there. You know, you're putting you're there. I mean, you'll cover most of everything in their, you know, whatever they had there. It was like 250 episodes or something like that. But you know, we cover a lot. But I would also I will point out that QAnon has Q came back out, right, and has basically said that this is the week to remember. I mean, a lot of hype about this week, and it may be where we start. I think the trial is the thing that they're going to use to open this all up and try the deep state. I think it's the deep state that's going to be on trial here. That's what I think. You know, I don't think it's going to be about Trump. I mean, of course, you know, the House managers are going to come out. You know, there's Adam Schiff is there. Right, he's gonna be, you know, trying whatever he can try. That's what I hear they put the kill switch in is. In case he starts bringing in clowns and you know, throwing rings in the air and fire breathing, you know.
And now, your leader of today's impeachment, Adam Schiff.
That's it. Yeah, I think he'll drop.
I would love to see Adam Schiff get up in front of everyone and start the whole impeachment with like a monologue. You know, like just like a series of jokes, you know, just talking. I just feel like that would be, you know, like the whole thing is such a sham, right?
Right.
It's like, you know, why not just start it out with just acknowledge the joke that it is, right?
Well, interesting. They call everyone up for these witnesses, right, about what's going on with the corruption in the Ukraine, and that just opens the door for everything at that point. All right, so I don't know where that takes Romney, right, as being one of the senators in the mix there on the Republican side. But he may have to be called up as a witness. How about that?
Really, Romney is like his name is being considered?
No,
I didn't know that.
No. I didn't say he's. I have no intel on that whatsoever. I'm just saying if they're opening up the whole thing about the Ukraine and corruption, you have a senator sitting there, not just Romney. There's probably other senators, but the Romney is the one I know. His assistant sat on the board. You know, just like Nancy Pelosi's son sat on a board, energy company, right? And John Kerry's son sat on an energy board in the Ukraine. They're all sitting on energy boards in the Ukraine. And where is the $7.4 billion that nobody knows where it went? Where is the money?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
But I think
actually, what's funny is they really don't know. Even they don't know if people have stolen it.
Well, I think
because all that money just got absorbed by the trust, right? So they went to the back ledger where they thought they'd secretly hide their money, and the back ledger was like, "Yeah, guess what? That's mine now."
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I think about that. I mean, I always figured that they knew where it went. I mean, I went to what account, but whether it was retrieved already. I assumed it was still in their hands.
Well, it's funny. I'm sure that people have been paid in this clandestine world, right? But let's walk through the steps, for the listening audience here. So let's think about it, right? So you're these guys right now. Now Joe Biden has claimed publicly, he's like, I was the poorest man when I came into Congress, and when I left, I'm still the poorest man. He's worth like $15 million, right? Like so he's well off, like very comfortable or whatever, but but not insane. Like 15 minutes, like wow, that is pretty conservative, right? But we know he stole like what, billions of dollars that he took in his own personal account, in offshore accounts like the Cayman Islands, right? Well, where do they hide their money? Well, they hide their money in the off ledger system, right? So if they want to like start a war, they pay a bunch of mercenaries. So how do you pay the mercenaries? Well, when it's time to pay the mercenaries, you say, look, here's $2 million. We're going to put it in here's the account number. They write it down in this little black book. They put the amount. And then that mercenary has that little black book and an account number. And that is all held in the trust. Yeah. And if they wanted to access it, they'd get a black card. And they could go, like, say they wanted to buy a house. They could go run that card, and that would credit their account, to that bank. And then they would be able to buy that house, right? And that's how it worked. But that has been shut off since 2007. So there's no place to spend the kind of money that they've stolen, right? It's just, you're not just throwing around that kind of cash.
So this brings up the reason why they use worthless paper called dinars to pay off the mercenaries
right
after that.
Yeah, that's right. So you print up a bunch of dinars on a real De La Rue machine, right? Printing press. So it's very, very official, right? Holograms, all types of cool gadgets. But it's never been submitted to the asset redemption system. It's never been given an allocation number. So because there's no allocation number, it's not attached to any assets, nor anything else. And even if they tried to attach it to an asset, the assets are still technically owned by the trust. So that it doesn't even matter. So even that currency, that's why they would say, use the ZIM from 2008 and 2009. And they always tell people.
2008 before.
Right, 2007 is when they shut the system off, so I guarantee it's not legit. Right?
Okay.
So, just side note. So I'm just, so all this, I just feel like, yeah.
I thought that the 2008 is when they did the $100 trillion notes. That's what they started there.
No, that is. That's right. That's the point.
Yeah.
They started printing those in 2008, 2009. Right? So what I can say for a surety, it will never redeem. Because the trust was shut off in 2007. So the asset redemption system was shut off in 2007, and it hasn't been turned back on. They haven't brought down any money since. Actually, Kim might have brought down money when she first took a position for them. That might have happened. Right in the beginning. When she didn't
that gave it legitimacy. After that, it happened once. It's going to happen again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So... But, you got to think, we're in the crunch time right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, their full moons have passed, their harvest moons have passed, their ring of fire moon has passed. Their gods have basically forsaken them, in all possible ways. They are now left on the lurch, and basically subject to, they've tried every possible source, which is unbelievable that we've had to go through all these different ridiculous sources. And I listened to Tom just the other day, and listened to his intel, and I love what he said. And I can think of several ways Kim could have done this, and I think he was being literal, but I didn't ask him, so I'm not sure. But he said that the Kingdom of Manna's quantum system, right? Mm-hmm. This is like the big quantum system they're always talking about launching, right? Mm-hmm. So they've got this quantum. It's not a real quantum system, but they think it is. It's basically a data processing system. So the whole world was ready for them to launch, and it was going to be RV time. They were going to be exchanging in the streets, and dancing in Iraq. It was being amazing, right?
Yeah.
And the whole world was queued up for it, right? And you confirmed it with some places, and I've confirmed it with a few other places. So instead of just melting their board, right, basically like so he just fried it, he said it is now disintegrated, which is very specific language.
That's pretty specific.
Exactly. Yeah.
That means that there are no more molecules and atoms and everything still holding anything together, right? It's just gone.
Disintegrate. And so I think you can't reprogram dust, right?
Yeah.
So
not easily. Yeah.
So
tweezers and crazy glue, still no.
No, nothing. No amounts of love will bring it back. And then all the agencies are freaking out, and I can confirm I have some contacts that I have not been able to get a hold of anyone. So they probably are freaking out, and I would imagine when something that absolute happens, that you haven't seen since the likes of the previous people. You haven't seen anything like it, right?
Right.
You're not ready for
that was like that was godlike.
Yeah, that was godlike, right? Yeah. So maybe that was the strike that they're finally waiting to admit it, because all of these people, it's so amazing to me. They all worship. They'll do anything not to be subject to being equal with us. Anything. And I'll tell you what, they're not equal with us. They are not. They're beneath us. Because not only are they married to mediocrity and they don't have control of the money, they're also just anti-human evil beings. They don't even have integrity of any kind. So all this, I'm so underwhelmed by them, and I'm just, I am very hopefully and patiently, confidently looking for a few little things to fall into place and for us to just take a step forward. And it'll be like the first steps on the moon, even if that wasn't the real first landing on the moon.
Yeah. Well, we better get our phrases in hand, right, ready to go. One small step for man, one giant bank account.
One giant suck it, come on. Sorry, that's not appropriate.
Yeah.
We'll come up with something very classy to say.
Yeah, a little bit better than suck it. Yeah.
But I feel like that really does epitomize how I feel. So, so it's fine. It really is so overdue. But you know what? Like, we published notice the other day in the Gazette, Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And that we were talking to some some bar attorneys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who are they're that interested in find out what we're doing, what's going on. They want to partner with us, right? And these are parents, right? So they're really passionate about it too, which is nice to see, to be honest, because most people wouldn't come out of their closet to talk to us, right? Because even if they agreed with us, they agreed because there is a massive sub network of chat rooms all over Facebook and any place else you can do that, of mothers, and I'm assuming fathers too, but I've only spoken to mothers who are they're anti-vax, but they're getting persecuted, right? So they're actually, I know this woman locally. She's a speech pathologist, and she works with kids with autism, and she said the entire community of therapists, right? They all know that if you are anti-vax, that it is considered that you are in alignment with non-scientific basis of ideas, and you are shunned from the community, and you will lose your certification. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's insane. So in other words, if you have a different opinion, or better yet, how about you actually
you have facts?
It's a damn facts.
Yeah, you got facts.
Yeah, you got facts. Right.
That's amazing. Hey, you brought up the Bar Association. I want to drop some information on you. Do you know that they in some court, someone researched them, they are considered a communist party. They're organized as a communist party in England.
In England, well, I was had a conference call with one of my guys, my veterans, and Michelle Walker the other day, and he brought that out, and haven't reviewed it yet, but I heard something like that. That's really
Yeah, it's making the circuit there. I picked up from Dave Hodges. Um, one of the things I just think about Dave Hodges. I was trying to get some background on what happened in Virginia. Do you have any idea? Because I've been kind of a little bit out of touch with what happened there. Because the 20th is over. And
I don't know. I saw a lot of pictures. We had some people in that way, I guess, and some of the pictures were very flashy of guys dressed up in all types of military gear and scanning for weapons and stuff. But no, I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Obviously, it wasn't a violent standoff. The Cabal certainly didn't get their way.
So I told you about that they had shut off the GPS and made a no-fly zone. Well, they did a few other things. They cut off the waterway access. So they basically wouldn't allow any boats in or out of the surrounding areas, so no one could come in with whatever kind of boat with whatever on it. They also just as a little other side note, this came from In Pursuit of Truth, that they had SpaceX had deployed their I'm going to call it Skynet, but it's their Lightning internet towards the beginning of the month, and working with the DOG, were testing it at this time, meaning giving Wi-Fi access to the DoD over this whole area. All right, so there was a new communication, new internet deployed that was accessible. Wow. Now, I don't know if you followed this whole thing, what Elon Musk is doing but it's 14,000 satellites around around the whole planet, right? And it would basically provide Wi-Fi for everyone for free.
Okay.
That's
I don't know.
That's the plan. But they just deployed this part of it, and they were testing it. So it's just interesting. The whole idea was not to have anything, spark, this this any kind of fighting with the anti-fascists, right? or the
anti-fascists,
or the anyone else in that group, to cause a problem for there to be the heavy boot coming down on everybody. So it seems like it was diffused by all these other things that went on. The no-fly zone also, I found out, also extended to drones, which also just as another coincidence, who was invited in by the governor Northist. So the governor invited this Israeli Mossad drone company to move their base of operations there. So these drones are attack drones.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing that says safety like Mossad attack drones. It moves into your state.
Well, the governor's asking them to come there, right? So there's something wrong with that picture, right? But anyway, the no-fly zone and no GPS, that grounded them too.
That's good.
Anyway, so I think it probably went off okay. I've seen no bad news reports about anything happening there, so that's a good thing. I did see one report basically showing that there was like all of these armed people outside of the center, right? Which, and the people inside were more limited.
So these are pictures from the event.
Right. So outside that area.
I don't know if you said beautiful. I didn't know that Virginia had such a beautiful, White House knockoff there. It's really, really pretty.
Yeah, you know, this
So I guess.
this is like the beginning of the colonial battles, right? This is where
Yeah. Right.
where you know this is the typical 13 colonies. you know.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. So I don't know. It looks pretty peaceful. I mean, it doesn't look like there's anything.
yeah,
I'm not sure what this is, but it's cool.
well, it looks like he's got one of those masks on that looks like a skull, but
Yeah. But still, it's what's really. I mean, it's cold, But what's really interesting about this is like, I wonder if Antifa looks at this and goes, "Wow, that's what men look like, like who are actually trained in combat, right?"
yeah.
So, I mean, or in some way, because they're definitely more formidable.
So remember we're talking about the Project Veritas, and they're going into Bernie's campaign, and they had their one guy that was organizing for Bernie, and he's talking about sending people to gulags and things like that. So here's another side of that. Waters World on Fox. What's his first name? I forgot. Anyway, Waters. He actually just gave a little story. He said he was going home. He got in. He was in his elevator, and the elevator's doors were closing, and someone reached their hand in the last moment, and then 3 guys stepped in, all Bernie supporters, right? And they basically said, "Oh, we recognize you. You're on Fox," right? So now Waters is like thinking, well, this might be a problem, right? Is 3 guys going to gang up on him in the elevator? But they said, Fox treats Bernie fairly, and if the Democrats, steal it away from Bernie again, we're going to do exactly what we did last time. We're going to vote for Trump.
Right.
So that makes sense, though, right? Right. Because it's really their enemy is really within their own party, right? They want to be socialists. Great, be socialists, but they're looking at the Democrat Party as really just playing them, right? It's just same old control structure. But but they are part of they're the ones that were shaped by that control structure to think that socialism is a really cool thing.
Right. No, and it's funny because Bernie couldn't be more of like a crusty old man. He just had a heart attack. He's like just a curmudgeon little guy. Which is a little feisty fighter kind of character, right? And he's very popular with millennials, right?
Right.
Because basically, it's like millennials. What they've done to millennials to make them socialists, right? Is they basically sent them down the path, right? Then all this went down, right? You go all through high school, then you pay a fortune for college, and then you're really qualified to do nothing. And if there's not real positions open, and so millennials are struggling, right? I mean, this is a big problem. It's like 50% of millennials have no idea what's in store for their future. I think about so you have this whole group of that they're attacking with this transhuman agenda, loaded them up with vaccines, and now comes Bernie with socialism. So you can see how, this option of at least I'll be taken care of for a generation that, obviously wants to feel secure, which everyone does, right? You can see how it would pull people in that way.
Yeah.
But fear not, millennials. We have better options coming. Better options.
Yes, better options. Well, one of the things is a big problem. Is this debt that everyone has for education? I think it's a complete fraud what the educational, universities or the whole educational system has done by increasing the price of an education to such an astronomical amount, right? That even that it's impossible to pay it off, right? I think should be the responsibility of the universities, right? That they should be sued for fraud, because they created these disciplines, right, to teach that can't pay off anything, and then they give them loans, right, through the federal government, right. So it's a fraud, it's a trap. So it's no one was going to be able to pay them back, and then you're under so much more debt.
I can back that up, right? So when I finished my master's, I had $74,000 in college debt. Okay. So
how many years of college? How many years of college was that?
That was 6 years. 6 years of college.
I'm just curious.
I mean,
it's 74,000, 6 years of college. I just wonder how much that turned into. A lot of people they're doing 4 years and they have like $200,000 in debt.
Right. I mean, I went to a state school. I went to Binghamton University. So it was like reasonable, right? So I paid on those college loans $500 a month for 10 years, right? So that means I paid in $60,000, right? And then I started going down this path that I'm on now, right? And so I basically, just kind of, I couldn't pay them, right? And my college loans now are over $100,000.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's not meant to be paid back, right? It's meant to keep you enslaved. You cannot.
It's a perpetual debt that never, but it is what it is. So they harass me and they call me all the time and they want me to sign up to do deferment. So when they call, I say no, I can't. I won't sign any paperwork of any kind to do anything else with these college loans. They've already been paid off by my actual corporate account attached to my name. That's why you, the debt collector, has the debt. I'm like, because they sold you a false debt that I've already paid off. That's what I tell them every time they call, which is true. They paid it off already with my birth certificate, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, but if you enter back into some deferment agreement, you're contracting with them again.
Right. But people don't understand that, right? So it makes sense. That's why you get them into payment plans and all this other stuff. It's just another contract, right? So then they get paid again if you default, again on your birth certificate.
But I actually have a receipt. I have a receipt to show they're paid off. So I tell them, I have a receipt. You guys already acknowledged it as being paid in full. I'm like, so how can you call me now and tell me it's on? Which one is it?
What do you mean you have a receipt? We'll explain that.
What's that? How did I get a receipt?
Yeah.
I can't explain that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Never mind. Yeah. Next topic.
Next topic. Exactly right.
Yeah.
But there is something I do want to talk about here quick that I think is kind of, I don't think it is important. So you remember when Puerto Rico was a mess, right? And we sent all this aid down there, and the Democrats used that to trash Trump. What a horrible job. Half Puerto Rico hates Trump because he didn't take care of them, right? Well, So this happened, that Puerto Rico fires top official after warehouse full of hurricane supplies discovered, right?
Right.
So look at all the supplies. These are supplies that are still good, right?
Right.
And they've kept it from the Puerto Rican people, and the Puerto Rican people were starving to death.
Yeah.
They were dying of dehydration. It was hot. Hurricane just wiped out everything. There was no fresh water. Everything was infected with salt water. All this was there. $2 billion in aid, or more than that actually, but definitely $2 billion at least was there, and they did nothing with it. And I'm so happy that this has finally come out because anybody who was paying attention knew this happened, right? And then we had people all over Puerto Rico telling us what was going on. Yeah. And President Trump would get a bum rap about this stuff. But look, he did his part. It wasn't his fault. It was the scumbags who were there.
Yep. And those people, if anyone died because of starvation, that's on them. They should be
damn right it is.
They should be brought up on is that murder? Probably not murder. Probably manslaughter. Was it homicide? I don't know what they call that.
I think it's genocide actually, because I figure if 3 cases of the measles counts as a state of emergency or counts as an outbreak that you can call a state of emergency, then if there was 20 people killed, it's genocide. Because think about it, you attacked the Puerto Rican people. You withheld goods and services that were sent there by the American government. It's also an act of treason and war against America because you're trying to cause conflict between, the Puerto Rican people and the Americans, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're right there. A lot of this is about. That's what always was remarkable was like to see the young people that were like ashamed of being American overseas. The younger people. And it's like they don't want to be they call me Canadian. And it never really. It really took a while for me to figure out that literally that they were the ones that they were ashamed because they thought of all these really negative things about what has happened. But the cabal was putting this imagery out there, right? Especially like the warring, right? Wars everywhere. Look what Obama started more wars than anyone, right? He was in everything, right? There was not to say that the Bushes didn't start wars, but I think Obama actually started more than the Bushes. But it's all the same, right? They're all creating war everywhere, and that's why it's kind of like we say we're fighting the bad guys, but the reality is that the bad guys are getting us to fight. Right, the cabal is getting us to go out there and make these battles, which they're setting up all the pieces. Trying to manage it from behind the scene, and then makes people look bad upon America, right? But it was on purpose. It's the only country on the planet that was set up for where people's individual rights were respected, and that everyone was sovereign. And and you owned the government instead of the other way around.
Yeah. Wow.
Right. So what they needed to tear down the image. So now it's time to flip that around. I think we're headed that way.
Yeah. It really is. It's just some incredible, crazy things going on. ICE, right, has been contacting New York, and New York City specifically, right?
Okay.
And they have contacted New York City 7,556 times, right? To specifically identify people that are illegal aliens who have committed crimes, right? They're guilty of crimes. They know they're guilty. They have contacted New York City 7,500 times, and New York City has blocked them every time. So this is not just because they're illegal aliens, right? Because New York City is a sanctuary city because of the de Blasio here, right? So basically, every time they called, they blocked him. But I guess what just happened is ICE called up and said, "This is not a request. This is a demand." And they told him, which that is exactly what needs to happen. Because de Blasio is no longer a sanctuary city. He is harboring criminal fugitives, right? And it's so bad here in New York, right? I mean, it is so bad right now that they will literally, if you are an illegal alien, it doesn't matter the crime you committed. They will let you go.
Yeah.
They're doing it intentionally to try to spark a war, right?
Yeah.
They're intentionally letting people out like it. Now, think about this. In the same city, I'm walking, right, just down in a parking lot, doing nothing. No weapons, no guns, on the telephone, just having a conversation, looking up at the sky. I'm not near anything I could even steal, right? I wasn't even near a store that I could have broken into, right? I'm just walking in a parking lot. I'm near nothing. I get pulled over, handcuffed, harassed, searched. My car got searched. That was, a block away because I was walking, right? And threatened by the police, right? But they let me go. But imagine that's where we live right now, right? Like that's what's happening. Like where they're going to harass me
Right.
for doing nothing,
Right.
but somebody comes in with an actual record, and but not only that, and plus they were harassing me because I
Well, how's your Spanish? You could like
Not
you
good.
could you could you
Not
could,
good.
you could you could like maybe pull off, say you're illegal alien, right? And then you'd get they give you money or something.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about this, right? Because this is the truth, right? So my they were trying to like harass me because I hadn't paid this ticket, and I just didn't have money for this ticket for like a headlight being out, right? And it was nothing. It was nothing, right? And they were trying to harass me about this, right? Like, oh, you don't pay your tickets, whatever, and stuff like that, right? But think about it. I could go in with no identification whatsoever, and I could walk into the DMV, and all I have to do is say, "Hey, I am an illegal alien. I'm here illegally, and I need a license," and they would give it to me in New York State. I thought, that's genius. I could just create a name in it and get a fake ID.
There you go. Yeah.
Walk in, hey,
Yeah.
this is who I am. And they would just give it to me, right? Because I'm illegal. Now, how is that even? I mean, isn't the term illegal? And then they're trying to shame us,
Right.
for saying the term illegal alien is racist. No, it's not racist, you dumbass.
What's that have
It
to do
is
with
an
race?
accurate description of what someone is.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're here illegal, because there's people that are legal aliens or legal migrants.
Yeah,
right?
we have to start calling them labelist.
Labelists, yeah.
Yeah, they
love to
throw
twist terms.
labels. Yeah, label this and label that. Label everything.
Like, why are you discriminating against me because I identify with whatever? Oh my gosh, so funny. It's like, I think that could be the key that disrupts everything. If we all just start identifying as like inanimate objects and whatever, and then if they tell us that we can't be that,
Yeah.
we'll call them all racist.
Yeah. Well, I'm a lesbian caught in a man's body.
I am a Palladian anteater. That's how I identify. Accept it. Accept it.
But what's your personal pronoun?
Pleance, of course. I'm a pleance. So
I get it.
they get insulted by personal pronouns, though. Remember, it's like you can't say he, she, what. Like you can't even have a conversation with them. They're gonna make it so the language is so jacked up you can't say anything to anybody.
Yeah, my personal pronoun is master.
Master, right? Perfect.
Yeah, if I ever meet one of the, let's say I meet Kamala Harris, and she wants to throw her personal pronoun, I say, yeah, my personal pronoun is master. Please approach, address me as such.
As such, yeah. I think that's I don't know if I would say that one, but someone in that world I think is right. We would definitely have more viewers, though.
Well, I mean,
Well,
she's the one that brought it up. She's the first one, in this, in the, Democrat presidential candidacy, right? She's the first one that brought up those, personal pronouns and, threw it out there on the table. Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I can come up with some personal pronouns for her, but it's not her.
Yeah,
she.
I mean, as long as we're creating labels, right? I can think of a few.
Yeah.
But so that happened, and then I think one other thing I wanted to bring up, but I guess not. Yeah, so it's just a lot of crazy stuff going down. We're drawing closer. I wonder if they're finally, really on like the state level and the lower level starting to feel the pressure of what's happening. Because you got to think, the big money didn't come through. That means everybody, all these big dogs have been, barking out orders to their minions. All of a sudden, they had to shut the heck up because they didn't pay the bill, right? They weren't going to pay all their mercs.
Mm-hmm.
So now, what do they all do now when everything we've been saying for 2 years is 100% true? That they do not have control of the money. Now what do you do? Continue to hold out like idiots when go with the anti climate change people who buried their heads in the sand to try to mock us, but in reality it's like, wow, that's scary accurate what you just did. So funny, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is time for flipping the tables. Well, mean to say it that way, but that is about right. We're flipping the tables, all right?
Yeah.
I think
Flipping the tables the bird in a minute because like, it's like I'm sick and tired of these guys trying to think they want us to be their slaves so bad, so bad. I think there has to be something in it that they realize. You know,
well, they're in the begging phase of the 5 stages of grief, right? So it's like they're going through. They're in the begging phase. So please be our slaves, please.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like denial has been lasting for a long time. They've been in denial. Yeah. And then they jump over to beg for a while.
Yeah.
To Kim, like, oh, please, Kim, fix it. Then when she does, they're like, screw you. And they try to just, screw her over. And then you turn around the next minute and she just goes, no, guys. And she shuts it all down again. It's like, after a while, it's like, how many times do you have the nerve to stab someone in the back and keep coming back? Like, what are they doing right now? It's like the Pentagon should. I'm sure the Pentagon's on Kim's side, but remember, they were plotting to kill Kim, right? They were putting a bounty on her head. They entered their request to draw the funds down to put a bounty on her head, and when they did, she responded.
Yeah.
She's the one that's like, I'm not going to authorize you putting a bounty on my head. And she's like, this is Kim, by the way. They told them. And I guess they worked for their ever since. But I'm just like, how do you deny these things?
Right.
It's crazy.
Well, it's crazy that they're putting bounties on anybody's head, but
that is crazy. And also that's also the same global financial system and the military intelligence and the regular intelligence agencies, the treasury system, and all the governments are mapped through the same system that they all have access to now. So as they would do these things, people knew, right? Like, oh, look, there's a bounty on somebody's head, right? Like, Henry Kissinger put it there. It's like, it wasn't a secret, really, in their world, right? It was known. Like, this was put out there, And all of that was just slave management. Like, the slaves get too uppity, like JFK got too uppity, so they took him out, right?
Yeah. But now it's a different story. Oh, I found it interesting that Trump was honoring I drew a blank. What's his name? The guy that basically was responsible for opening up China, Kissinger. So he was honoring Kissinger, at this ceremony for signing for the Phase 1 deal for China. And I just thought it was interesting, that Kissinger actually said it was a good deal.
I don't understand. What did Kissinger say was a big deal?
The Chinese Phase 1 trade deal.
Right.
He's actually surprised. They were surprised that they could get the deal. But
well, it's interesting because Kissinger said this in reference to the RV about a year ago. I guess Kissinger, right? Kissinger's still alive, or am I?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Okay, so Kissinger said this because I don't.
Barely.
Kim's had a lot of run-ins with Kissinger, right? And I think actually Benjamin Fulford might even report on this, that he said, yes, it's time for the RV to happen because it's time for the control to be transferred over to the Chinese. It's their turn, right? So he basically acknowledged what Kim is the only person to ever talk about. That the only reason why the RV was ever put in place was to transfer power from the dragon families in the West to the dragon families in the East, right? So he's acknowledged that's what it really was all about, right?
Right.
And so it's interesting, like, that's probably why he's shocked. Because he's like, the Chinese are supposed to be the boss, right?
Right.
And Trump just bested him on a deal.
Yeah, well, that deal is like Phase 1, right? What about the next part? So we'll see where this goes, but I think it's a whole new world in regards to a new relationship. I think they recognize that there has to be a different situation. So it'll take some adjustment, but I think that it can work out. But he's not taking off the sanctions.
The sanctions. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What's most impressive about that deal is he's made the deal and the sanctions are still on.
Yeah, until Phase 2 is done.
Right. So I mean, like that is a really hard negotiating principle. He basically said, "Look, I'm not negotiating anything. You're going to do it my way, or you're going to do nothing." And to me, that's that's a boss move. I like it.
Yeah, so like it'd be what was it, like the Godfather move or whatever, the gangster move that Schiff was basically saying in that speech he gave for Trump. Yeah.
Wait.
Schiff gave the transcript, right? The fake transcript. It was kind of like he said, and you're gonna do it, and you're gonna dig up dirt. You're gonna dig up dirt.
He did his.
I'm gonna tell you 8 times. Yeah, that thing. So.
Yeah, listen here, real good. See, I'm only gonna tell you 7 times. This is how I imagine Trump talks. I'm Adam Schiff.
Does that work in the? I don't know. Does this play well in the script? I don't know. I'm a really bad screenwriter.
Yeah, I feel like he must have done that somewhere with like his minions, and he read that whole thing out loud. And he looked at them. He goes, "How did that sound? I mean, did I sound menacing? I mean, did I sound strong?" And they were all like, "Oh, you were wonderful. That was wonderful. How do you do it?" They all just patted him on the back. And here's the problem with when the only tool that you use to motivate and push people, instead of inspiring them, instead of considering them, listening to them, actually thinking about what they need to be great, to empower them, instead of actually caring, right? Because nobody cares what you know until they know how much you care, right? So instead of doing any of those things, Adam Schiff uses the same, and all the cabal, they use threats, manipulation, blackmail, repeatedly. This is all they've done. And so what do you get as an end result? As people are finally waking up out of the most ridiculous trance, they're looking at this guy acting like pretending to be a threat, I guess. And it's laughable. It is so laughable. It's almost like, how do we all get here, and how are these people in control? which is what I feel like most days.
Well, this is going to be a week to remember. So and it's just beginning. So we'll see what's going to come out. I think the first day we have to sit through what Schiff and Nadler are going to have to throw out there, but after that, I think it's going to get interesting.
Schiff and Nadler, yeah, they're like
the Bob
like the orcs. They're like the orcs and one of the evil wizards. What remind me of from Lord of the Rings. Some goofy little troll guy Nadler is. And
yeah, that would be Wormswood, Wormsmouth, or Worms.
Wormwood.
Wormwood, yeah, it's something like a worm. It was very wormy, right? Weasley guy.
Oh, you talking about Gollum?
No.
Yeah.
No. The guy that was always whispering things into the ears of the king. And the king was really old looking because he kept whispering these things and making him old. And he finally broke the spell, right? But
that's so interesting. You're right. In every movie, you always have this weird, creepy gatekeeper who secretly wants to be king, right? Who's like whispering things, and handling the king. So the king never gets the whole story, right?
Right.
That's fascinating, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so I guess we're going to know soon enough, though.
Hey man, I'm excited. I'm with you. This is going to be a week to remember. Let's blow up the energy, not blow up anything. I'm very careful with my words right now. Let's do good things is what I mean by that. And all the haters out there. Let's. I think it's going to be an amazing week. Everybody stay tuned. I expect us to have absolutely incredibly amazing news. LawfulAmerica.com. We are expanding everywhere. We got reps starting to represent all over. We've got brand new email system. We're going to start working with Dr. Shiva, and he's got a whole secret system we might be using as well. We have got amazing things coming together, and we are putting together a full-on assault. We are going on the offensive on every level, and we're finally getting the numbers of active, intelligent, knowledgeable participants. So if you are out there and you've held back, don't. If you want to help, now's the time. Get on board. We need all the help we can get. And I'm telling you, I mean, you could have 10 million people get on board. We would still need more help. So there's so much work to be done, and and it's very exciting to see what's happening because we got them. I'm telling you, I'm coming for all of them. I'm excited. So that's all. All right,
That sounds
Dan,
good.
appreciate you.
All right.
Right.
We'll catch you tomorrow. I'll try and be on time.
Cool again, man. Talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Bye. Bye. Thing. All right. So everyone, I'm very happy that I was able to now finish up deploying the coin. Well, now I'm going to be doing a video or a Zoom later on today with people. Everyone will be able to participate. So just if you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, it will pop up right at some point. And if you want to join in, come and take a look. We'll be talking about the GoldGrain coin and what you need to do to join in and get it. So, if you have any questions, just contact me about it, and we'll get into the details so I can talk you through it. And please, also, I want to also thank those that contributed for my friend whose child was came down with dengue fever, right? And he was very much appreciative of it. And so I had already sent those donations to him this morning. Thank you again. I had 3 different donations, and so that definitely will help him and his child out, who is only 8 years old. So, all right, thank you everyone, and see you tomorrow.